Marvel's Wolverine has an official launch date of this year on September the 15th. This is a game from Insomniac that a lot of people have been looking forward to since it was teased years and years ago. And a lot of people thought that it may not release this year, considering GTA 6 is looking like it will release on the 19th of November. So a lot of people were worried, will it come out? Because this sounds like a holiday release type game. But releasing on September the 15th, I think will really do well for the game, because this will be a big seller. This looks like an insane game. Of course, Insomniac always does a great job with their games. It's a little more brutal, a little more violent than your previous Spider-Man titles, but I think overall that September the 15th release date, pretty much 65 days before GTA 6 launches, is pretty much the sweet spot, and I think Sony will do really, really well with Marvel's Wolverine as long as it plays and, everything works out. Compared to what we've seen in the trailers, it does look absolutely phenomenal. Some big news came out last week, pretty much after I put out the buried headlines for last week, and that was Phil Spencer is stepping down from Microsoft and Xbox. He'd had worked there for 38 years. He pretty much started from an intern and worked his way all the way up to CEO. And I can understand someone stepping down after 38 years, but the odd thing was the person kind of behind him or next in line, Sarah Bond, to be the next CEO and kind of take over at Xbox, also stepped down or resigned. So the big issue with this whole story was the former president of Microsoft's Core AI is now going to be in charge of Xbox. And I don't necessarily think that's an awful thing, but I do get why people are concerned, and I also kind of have my concerns as well. It's going to depend if Microsoft is wanting to move more in the AI direction when it comes to game creation, when it comes to console creation. There's a lot of rumor out there right now, and it is all rumor, that Microsoft is doing this to kind of just sunset the Xbox. They're wanting to do away with it because they've been getting destroyed by Sony over the last several years. And the Xbox is just not really making enough money. If we all think about it, Xbox is probably a small percentage of Microsoft's entire kind of money flow. I mean, Microsoft makes tons of money on all kind of other things. Xbox is not the big money maker. Another interesting game out there that I'm not sure if a lot of you have heard about is Windrose. This is going to be a pirate RPG MMO combat survival game. It kind of reminds me of what Skull and Bones was trying to do but could not do, and this one actually looks like it could be a lot of fun. It is from an indie developer, and it is on the most popular charts within Steam. This is passing a lot of big name titles out there up. I mean, this is moving up rapidly, and this could be a game that does really well. I'm going to keep my eye on it because I've always thought it would be very interesting to have a great RPG MMO survival style pirate game. Something where you can go in, have combat, have building, have the ability to create kind of a hideout for your pirates, whatever the case may be, ship fighting. And this game looks like it's going to have all of that. I will be really curious to see how this works out in the end, but it looks like that a lot of these indie developers are now starting to see what these AAA companies are not doing and starting to put that kind of thought process into their own games. And this one looks like it could be a really fun one. Speaking of AAA titles, Ubisoft CEO just promised a massive wave of Assassin's Creed and Far Cry titles. He says Ubisoft is doubling down on what works: several Assassin's Creed games, 2 Far Cry games, and some different pushes into multiplayer. While they promise more, the only issue with this is a lot of the talent over some of these past and games that are being worked on as well have left Ubisoft altogether. The creative director of one of the newer Assassin's Creed games has already left. Some of the developers that have worked on some of the older Far Cry and Assassin's Creed games have left. So this kind of makes a lot of the community that enjoys just Ubisoft's games, but especially Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, they are kind of wondering now, what's going to happen with these games if they're going to push out so many titles and they don't really have the development team that made those games great years ago. It's going to be an interesting one to watch because I think Ubisoft is trying to really make up for some of their blunders over the years. But a lot of quantity, of course, is not always the best thing. A lot of people would prefer quality. If you have tons of games coming out, but none of them are any good, I don't really see the point in it. And in the long run, it's just going to kind of lose the money, and they're going to probably put some of this stuff on the back burner for a while. Top 20 games for 2026 so far has been released, and there's some interesting things on here. Black Ops 7 has moved up to number 1 as the top-selling game for 2026, and this list is pretty much what you expect, and pretty much the same thing that it has been year after year. If you look at the top-selling games every year at the end of the year, it's always Call of Duty, NBA 2K, Madden, and Minecraft. Those are always at the top. And as of right now, those are the top 4 games still in 2026. Now, this could change, with future things coming out. We'll have to wait and see. I think, of course, GTA will definitely make this top list once it is released. But the interesting thing here, a lot of people have been talking about, is number 7 and number 8 are GTA 5 and Red Dead. They're still on the top 10 list. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favorite games of all times. But I think, of course, Wolverine, which we talked about at the start of the video, will be on this list at some point. But this proves that Rockstar really just doesn't launch games that are just games, if that makes sense. They're not launching things just to launch them. They are actually occupying the gaming charts for literally decades, which is pretty insane to think of. So it's an interesting top 20 list so far in 2026. I think a lot of people would be interested to see that Arc Raiders is absolutely not on this list, considering it has done so well this year. I thought Arc Raiders would definitely be on here. But there's a lot of great games on here that I'm sure some of you have played from. But seeing those same games in the top, 4, and also seeing Red Dead and GTA in this list still kind of shows you the way gaming is going nowadays. A lot of people, I think, have got away from buying as many titles as they used to. A lot of people used to buy multiple titles a year. Now it seems like people are playing the same thing year after year. And a couple of these, of course, like the sports titles and Call of Duty, you do have to purchase every year. But they're not really varying from those titles that they know and enjoy. And the other things they're playing are things that have been out for a really long time. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.